So just before 3 a.m., we had the typical Ybor crowd. The clubs were pushing out to allow people to go home for the night because that's when they're expected to close. And around that same time, we had a victim who was standing at the intersection of 16th and 7th Avenue, and we had a suspect who was walking northbound on 16th. Now, it's unclear at this time exactly what led to an altercation between them, but they started arguing. That resulted in a physical altercation, and the suspect involved, unfortunately, made the poor decision to pull out a gun and shoot this victim. The victim was struck in the upper body. These are both adult males, and he was taken to a local hospital where he is currently in very critical condition. We're thankful that in all of this chaos, we had officers who were nearby handling their regular duties in Ybor City as the crowds were pushing out, encouraging people to go home, clearing out the streets. So because of that, they actually saw what happened and were able to immediately start chasing after that suspect. They caught him about 3 blocks away, and at this point, he is still being interviewed. We're only calling him a person of interest in the shooting. However, we're fairly certain that we were able to apprehend the person involved immediately after it happened. There was a second man in the crowd at the time who also began firing his weapon, and we're still looking for that second person. No indication that he hit anyone with the gun. However, again, that second suspect is involved in this in some way.
So that victim is in critical condition right now. Just are these people from here locally? I know we've had some shootings where it's been people from out of town.
Yeah, at this point, there's no indication that either the suspect or the victim is a local resident.
Was the suspect found with a firearm on them, or did he lose the firearm in an attempt to get away?
No indication at this time that he was found with a weapon on him, so that is a part of the open and active investigation currently.
I know TPD has been working several shootings, obviously, just within this past week. Here in this downtown Ybor area, just message to the public just on awareness, especially this happening in such an open area, the central part of Ybor.
So it's never a good situation where you have people who are drunk and fighting in the middle of the streets and one person pulls out a weapon. But if there's a such thing as a, sorry, let me try that one more time. So there's never a good situation when you have people who are drunk and fighting in the middle of the streets and one of them makes the poor decision to pull out a gun. But this was a best case scenario for us from a police standpoint because we had so many officers who were nearby. Their vehicles were very visible. They were out here in uniform encouraging people to clear the streets. And because we were out here in such high numbers, we were able to see what happened and immediately begin pursuing that suspect.
Can you speak to just the recklessness of somebody? Like a lot of people were leaving the bars out in the streets. He could have hit a lot more than just the one person. Can you just talk about that?
Yeah, it's incredibly reckless for someone to pull out a gun and just start opening in a crowd of people. This is a very busy area for tourists to come to the city of Tampa. This is somewhere where we want people to feel safe, to be able to come out for the night and just enjoy themselves with friends. So for someone to make a poor decision like this, we just want to make sure that we're able to charge that person appropriately and ensure that this doesn't happen again.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you guys.